Empowerment Unleashed Now is a podcast where inner authority meets embodied wisdom. The show features transformational conversations on healing, wellness, hypnosis, astrology, and conscious living. Through real-world insight and meaningful dialogue, each episode will explore how to awaken, integrate, and lead from your authentic self so empowerment becomes a lived practice, not just a concept.
They're talking to Tauruses the other day in their horoscope. I'm like, you guys are the builders of the new age. And you might look around and think that everything's built, but everything you see is poisonous. Everything.
Yes.
Everything is poison. Everything. Every television, every desk, every piece of food, everything. It's like everything has to be rebuilt from scratch. That's the reality of where we are. Like, and so it's like this, it's endless work to do, endless business, right?
But that's the clean slate opportunity.
Yes, 100%.
Right. That's really like, wow. Okay. If we've been living like this, imagine how you can thrive like that. Like now, you know.
Oh yeah. And I think too, I sense, I have no, evidence, but I sense that humanity would be so much farther along had we been just doing it right from the beginning. Right. So like, just as far as farming, everything, food, everything is, our food, our crops, our dirt that's been, has been ruined with soil. Like, I imagine that they've had to work so hard to keep it evil. And it's not easy holding back Mother Nature. It's like not easy, which is why they have failed to kill us. Like you're not going to hold back Mother Nature, but they have failed to kill us in all these different ways because it's a lot harder than they thought. Yeah. They thought it'd be easy to kill. It's not. Yeah.
It's just
but the point is like, so they've had to build this and build this to make it work. Like even if you look at that last vaccine had to be refrigerated because it was so fragile. If it wasn't refrigerated, it would become worthless. So they get in your arm while it's cold. That tells you how fragile it is. Right. And how and it's like, wow, all the energy spent to keep it cool, to get it to the arm, like the trucks, everything. Think about that, to keep it refrigerated. Like, that's a lot of work to do harm, right?
And isn't it interesting that the same people that were helping Africa that are, they're all tied to the same criminality.
It's really wild. I mean, I just can't believe, I don't know. I'm amazed, first of all, I'm amazed at the audacity. It's like, you really think you're more important than we are. Like you really have decided you're more important than we are. Wow. Unanimously in a group.
I also feel though that it's like, it is so audacious, like the audacity. It's so outrageous that I feel like good people, why it went on for so long, because we're like, oh no, that cannot possibly be
ludicrous.
True. This is ludicrous.
I know.
How would people even make this up? How many times did we all say that?
Right. Yeah. Oh, no. I'm seriously. I mean, to my thought, it's just too complicated. But then, as I start thinking and doing the research, my brother Michael and I used to fight like crazy about it, especially on the vaccine. He's like, bro, do you see the size of this organization? He's telling me, like, to get vaccines in every place. He goes, you know what the size of the organization have to be? I'm like, yeah, the size of the WHO. About that size, bro? A donation-based, rich-based, wealthy-based organization that sits in the middle of the world telling us how to live healthy. It doesn't come from a country itself. It's just some weird organization sitting like a zit on top of a country. Like, where'd that come from? That sounds like it's a corporation. What do they do with all that money, by the way, bro?
Yeah,
because I said I had a huge spew on the other end of the show. It's like, which I'm loving because I can talk I can speak my piece. But I'm like, you know who? You're fired. It's because the world is getting worse. The hell.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Diabetes is up. Cancer's up. But y'all are fired. Okay, you've had 50 years and you have done nothing but make it worse. You're fired. You're fired. We're starting over. You're fired.
That's
I guess Trump words, but still, it's ridiculous. It's like, why human beings? It's just as citizens. I'm like, it's not a conspiracy. I'm a citizen. I'm pissed off. I'm a citizen. You suck. You absolutely suck. You expect me to be better at my taxes every year. You expect all these things from me to be better. I'm expecting you to be better now.
That's exactly right. Because, okay, so in Nashville, our taxes went up 40%.
Oh, and where's that going?
40%. And then we have been without electricity for 10 days. Where is that money? Like, so it's obviously not going to what it's supposed to be going to. Okay, cool. Then let's see what it is going to. And that's kind of to me what when Uranus hits Gemini completely, like you talk about the shit is going to hit the fan.
Yeah. Yeah. Technology. Was it Barbara Marcinek? I can't. There's an astrologer talking about this about, I heard you do a clip and I can't remember. I'll have to, get
technology. Absolutely.
She's saying, what's starting to boom is self-generating electricity, free, what do they call it?
Yes.
Perpetual energy, like perpetual energy and electricity. What's going to happen is, first of all, there's been allegedly tons and tons and tons of engines that do this that have been, bought by Exxon, put in the closet, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, the last scene, like just stuffed away forever for never to be seen. It's like, which by the way, should be a crime. It should be absolutely illegal to buy an object and keep it from the American public if it would make the American public better. Like, it should be a law. You should go to jail for that.
Yes.
Like, what? You have a cure to cancer, you put it in your fridge? Oh, you're going to jail. Because you just save so many lives. I think that has to be a huge criminal thing too, And I've told you for years, it's like I see it so clearly. It's a vision. It's like there comes a point, and I'm going to argue for it. The United States, we need to actually start over and just say, government, you're fired, every one of you, and none of you can work in government again for the rest of your life. And and if you've ever, and anyone who's been a lobbyist, you cannot work in government. We're starting over with pure citizens who've never had any experience. We're starting over from scratch. The whole damn thing needs to be rebooted. You're all fired. You know what I mean? Like, let's do a constitutional convention and let's add a fourth branch of government. And the fourth branch of government does nothing but watch the other three branches. That's it. You need a watchdog on your ass. Someone that you hate watching over you. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. We're done. It's like, there's nothing to watch. It's like, they say the balance of powers, but none of the powers can watch each other. It's like they all have their own powers, but they're balanced. It's great, nice framework, but a tricycle is not very it's not solid. A four-wheel car is.
Well,
four branches.
That's right. Well, one of the things that I think is really interesting to use with artificial intelligence is to start asking questions like, why haven't we ever audited the Federal Reserve?
No kidding.
Why?
Because it's not, because it says federal, but it's not ours.
And private. Why is it federal when it's a private corporation?
Exactly.
Let's start
and asking, why is the bank in Jamaica?
And why is it all over the world? Central European banks, like,
why is there a dollar coming from Jamaica?
That's right.
Why is it there's a bank in Jamaica on there? It's like, what the Bank of Jamaica? What the and why is Jamaica so poor if they have all the banks? It's like, it's pretty like, well, hello people, wake up,
That's it. To me, we are all awakened. And I know this might sound really ridiculous, but I believe at this point, Christopher, we have all awakened to the place that we are going to awaken in terms of, if you think of it as like, oh, we realized it can spark. Like, whoa, we have the potential for fire here. Like, we can rub two sticks together. I think everybody has seen, we all lived through COVID in North America. Like, we've all like awakened.
Failure.
What you do with that is what people are living now. And I think there's a lot of people with open hearts and open minds and open souls that are saying, whoa, I am blown away by this shift. And I know there are good, amazing people out there. I had no idea this was going on. Like, what do I do now? Oh, okay. It was never about them anyway. It was always about me. And so what am I going to do in this now?
100%. That's the lesson.
That's the lesson.
Why do you just treat yourself differently? It's really not about anything outside of yourself. It's really not. That's my biggest epiphany this year. The biggest one's like, oh my God. I'd always seen it, but I finally saw it. It's like, it doesn't matter what so-and-so says to you.
That's right.
It doesn't go in your karma. It's not even your karma. Your karma is not what you did to Bob and Bob did to you. That's not your karma. It's a lie. The karma is, when Bob did that to you, what'd you say to you?
That's right.
What you said to you is the karma. How you let yourself feel after that is the karma.
How did you
yourself
respond?
After that is the karma. That is, goosebumps like crazy right now. And just like, yay. But it's like, that's the karma. Because all God is concerned about is making more God. in the sense of, so you're not going to be a God if you're relying on other pieces of God. God can't have his big toe worried about his kidney. The big toe's going to worry about the big toe, and so we are here to be gods. We are gods. We are children of God. And so we're creator. They say creator is even better because God has like this, still makes people twinge. Unfortunately, it's been polluted to that word, but anyways.
Yes.
So, no.
I think that love has even made people twinge. And that's part of why I've enjoyed the word light.
I know. Platon's corrected me. I think you helped me too. Platon's like, love isn't the best word. I was like, what? It's so good. And no, because it creates too much. They said it brings up too much bad stuff.
It's a lot of
everyone has like a love story, or
yes,
right, yeah.
And that it's a really interesting thing, because I think that for empowerment, what we have to realize as humans is the level of disempowerment, the programming, and starting to release that and let go of it. But until we do, those charges are real. And I feel like the more that we learn about the things that we thought were going on that weren't going on, and the things that we didn't think were going on that are going on, I think that the more neutrality that we can bring to just forgiving ourselves, wow, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I remember when somebody told me for the first time about a certain event that happened on a very dark day in New York City in the very early 21st century. And
you're writing keywords, are you?
I did not know.
I
didn't know.
I was fumbled. I mean, I remember the day of that event, waking up.
Oh, yeah.
And psychically, first of all, I had gotten a warning the day before. Like, me and a psychic in the kitchen of Elemento TV, was working at the time. She was like, I feel something really bad about to happen. I said, I do too. Something really, I've never felt this before. It's just solid. And for me, I was a young psychic, so I was like, this is without a doubt, I'm getting a strong warning. Something is wrong. It was the day before. And then I wake up, my brother wakes me up like crack of dawn. He's in this militaristic way. Get up, Romania, country's under attack. I'm like, what? But you got a kick out of being a little brother. And I'm watching, I'm like, this isn't nothing. This is not real.
That's right.
My first, it was like, this is not real.
Correct.
And then my mind was like, no, you're just having a hard time accepting reality, buddy. Like, my smart ass part of my mind was like saying that. I'm like, but the things that register as real, saying not real.
Yes.
I was getting a strong not real. And then over time, I was like, because it wasn't real.
That's right.
It was a simulated thing, like with explosions, everything. It was all a dramatic thing that killed people.
Killed a lot of people.
Good people. I mean, firemen, man.
Whoa. That's right.
You Rescue are so going to hell for that one. Oh my God. You kill a rescuer, man. Like, whoa, this is so bad,
But the world was so different, Christopher, 25 years ago. I think about it. I had a huge intuitive hit that I didn't even know was an intuitive hit. I was taking middle schoolers to the Grand Canyon for our big experience, our kickoff the year for the private school. This is what we did. We went out, we camped, we did this huge blah, blah, blah. I got this huge hit that I had to move everybody's flights, and I had to get us in on the 10th, not on the 11th.
Whoa. What were you telling yourself?
It just,
what justified it? You just
what justified it for me at that stage was it was my dad's birthday, and maybe the flights were going to be easier. I had a 3-year-old at the time who was going to stay with grandma and grandpa. It was the first time I was ever leaving him. And it was we were a small private school that could move shit, and we moved it to later, but making sure it was the 10th. And but I didn't even know back then that was intuition.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Wow. Yeah.
So if you think about how the world, the perspective has shifted, because now I would immediately be like, wow, that the angels are speaking, my guides, I feel it in my body. The shift we are so less dense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We are already. Yeah.
To me, the consciousness of astrology, because that's really what you do.
Mm-hmm.
If ever there were a time for folks to be able to align their spirit, I'm calling it their spamotional. It's like the spirit emotional, spamotional embodiment. It's like spiritual emotional embodiment.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a consciousness that embeds right within spirit, that at least that's its
An
mind,
awareness.
an awareness, right?
I like to use the word awareness, like you're aware,
Yeah.
And
Yes.
you don't know you're aware, but you're aware,
There's this opportunity as Saturn, Neptune, right, move into Aries. Like, if you had to hit our biggest highlights in February, we have a solar eclipse happening.
Yeah. Yeah, we have eclipses. We ultimately in February, when I talk about February, it's like
to hit the highlights.
Well, what we have is okay. So first of all, that solar eclipse is at 28 degrees. We should say what is a solar eclipse, right? Well, it's when, of course, the Earth and the Moon and the Sun all line up, and you have the Moon in the way, right? And the Sun is eclipsed by the Moon, right? So the Sun gets eclipsed. As a result, you have this corona that happens around the Sun. So the Sun's rays end up becoming like this weird, circle with no, if you think about the heat and everything hitting, it's like we get hit with a pock mark, like a chicken pock mark of light. We don't get hit with the full blast of light. So that's weird, right? And what happens is that light is actually more intensified because it's like having to go around the moon, right? And so it goes around the moon. Now, because it goes around the moon, it is shaped by the energy of the moon. The moon's warps it. So all of our feelings get sucked into the sun's stream. And so we get this big blast of sun and emotion. And sun is willpower and emotion is like fuel. And also, remember, emotion is like how you feel. And that's basically how you used to feel, which is how you feel, how I felt. So emotion is like the entire history of spirituality, the entire history of everything every soul has felt and what they felt and how they felt about that. And so it's like you get this big blast of intention, the sun, multiplied by emotion, right? And washed by emotion, blasts the earth, right? Like with this weird laser gun that just pockmarks you. It basically creates a circle, right, on the earth, right? Creates circles. As it goes across the earth, it's like creating this circle, really. And the circle is sub-zero. That is a line. That is the circle is what God created the universe with. I think create a circle. Creator's like, I wonder what I'm like. What do I look like? Creator sends his energy out and around and comes back. It's like a boomerang.
Yeah.
Boom, circle. Everything is based on a circle. Zero is the basis of it. Circle of life. Cells are a circle. Orbits are a circle. Everything is a sphere, which is a 3D circle. So that eclipse is an event that adds energy with a specific frequency, with a specific intention, based on the degree of which it is happening. In proximity, the relationship of the degree is basically an angular relationship to the planet itself. So if it's this, whatever degree is like the angle which it's coming in at. So it's a geometric kind of way of bending the light. And here's the thing: it's at 28 degrees Aquarius. Okay, what's 28 Aquarius? Well, the thing is that we've had 5 new moons at 28 Aquarius leading up to this. 5: Libra, Scorpio, right? Sag, Capricorn, and then Aquarius. So we have this stream of setups of 28s.
Yes.
28 is the foundation of a new reality. That's it. By committing to what? A feeling. Committing to a feeling is committing to a frequency. If you commit to a frequency and just hum that frequency, everything eventually just surrenders into the frequency. Anything less than surrenders. If I just blow this whistle and not stop, we all just sort of surrender to the whistle. We all surrender under that. So 28 is an intention. So what's been happening is we had this series of full moons at 13, which is like a karate chop. We just had one in Leo in February. So we karate chop in Leo. A 13 is a breakthrough. So it means that, you're not good enough. Where you are here, it's not good enough. It's not according to your heart's belief. So we kind of karate chop at the middle class, right, so to speak. Yes. And then we keep putting in brand new, intentions at the high class, right? So, leaving the individual to settle for themselves. The individual's working on the eclipses the year prior, and the year prior, we're all working on the individual. Now it's all going to the daily life, into the big picture of society in the future. So this eclipse, after a series of 5, got into with a huge dun dun, this solar eclipse. And what is it? It's frequency. It's Aquarius, saying the frequency underneath everything must now be this. Right? This frequency underneath matter, underneath fruit, underneath everything is basically a frequency of buzzing of energy. And so it sets this gigantic tuning fork of 28, which is to commit to our feelings right at that moment and what our feelings and intentions are. And then that adds to a 10, which means that we'll love and hold space for the next dimension. Next is 29, and then you're into 5D. So this is the most solid 2-step number you can have before 5D, because 29 is actually the bridge to the next dimension. So you want to build a space shuttle tower. You get the astronauts in the space shuttle, you got to build a tower at 28th floor, and have tower, elevator at 0. This is like building this platform at 28, this conscious platform. And then we have one more in Pisces. Now that final one in Pisces is not an eclipse, but what it is the installment of the new story. So basically we have been building the new world for 6 straight months with new moons. And so that new world launches in March, with that new moon in, the new moon in Pisces. And then what happens is we have an eclipse. I think it's eclipse, and then eclipse at 27 Aries, which is okay, go. Yes. Let's go. It's huge. And so it is. So I've never seen the planets ever in my life be this. It's I was I just not paying attention? Was it not wise enough? Or was it not doing it? I don't have time to go back to every day of the week, back in the days, but I never have seen the planets so succinct and perfect, not even a variation of a theme, just so straight razor on, and all of it to what? Self-love.
Self-love.
Last year we had 4 major planets all at step 1 for months. And it's we went back before Christ. We kept looking in, NASA data. Never did God strike the chord of love yourself like that for that long of a time. Never. It just hasn't happened. It's has not happened. It literally was waiting for now. So
yes.
Just, anomalies like that, which are just fascinating to me. I mean, it just blows my mind. So I think what's happening is that 28 is the highest degree of Aquarius. So it's that basically puts that raises the ceiling right there. And then our team discovered, and I'm not going to say here at the moment, it's just because I want to be careful the way I talk about this, I'm not prepared, but we think the shift, we think we have identified the dates where the light switch of 5D goes on.
Yes.
Like a ceiling is, oh, look at this, just lights up. Does it mean we all go there? No, you have to bring yourself there.
Yes.
But it's there now.
It's there now.
Open for business. Yeah.
I was really blown away by your 2026, the countdown. We did that, it was a group thing. It was community. I loved it. It was time well spent. It was incredible. And with the, way the Witecki algorithm investments that you now have, there are actual dates. And for our listeners out there, because, I want folks to really understand that as much as Christopher and I have kind of ended up visiting and being very off script after 10 days without electricity and just kind of letting free flow consciousness take over, which is an awesome thing to do, and just dive into conversation. I want people to know that Sirius Joy isn't just an astrology, quote unquote, website, app. It's actually a place that I think you can get some really incredible, I would say, authenticity about yourself, where you're able to really start to figure out not only your purpose, okay, but actually maybe even what made you decide. You're getting ready, I know, Christopher, to do the 40 lives, the past lives. Yep.
40 days of past life in karma. Yeah, 40 days of past life in karma.
Yes, that's coming up.
We've ever had. Yeah.
This should be incredible. Folks, I think, that are listening to this, out there in our listener land, and folks from 35 countries are listening. I think that people realize that living from your authentic frequency, in an alignment with your embodiment, this isn't about forcing like anything. There's like this
Mhm.
growth, this evolutionary place that you get to kind of intersect with yourself in a way that you never have before. And I
Yes.
have to say, I use, the Sirius Joy app every single day in my life in some
Mhm.
way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
Like even if it's just checking in with, okay, like what's really the color like for me to vibe, like with the collective, so I can at least do my part. And when I greet people, I'm at least vibrationally like showing compassion for the collective because what I might choose to wear versus, vibing in yellow for the collective, I'm doing my little part, right? I feel like that.
Mhm.
But it
Mhm.
also goes super deep in terms of like where I'm sitting
Mhm.
with the houses that I might be in. Like I just came out of my descendant phase,
Mhm.
or I like to say my complementary phase.
Mhm.
And I'm really kind of understanding the connectedness of that for me,
Mhm.
like having lived through coming right out of a very fascinating Capricorn season and literally transitioning right into Aquarius with this ice storm in Nashville. I had to go to like, okay, so I can invite people that might need help that show up, but I got to help me. Like,
Yes.
and Serious Joy, I feel like helps you to help yourself so
Mhm.
you can then bring your light out into the world. That's
100%.
empowerment, my friend. So,
Thank you. Thank
uh,
you for that. You empower me. Thank
a
you.
deep bow because
Mhm.
honestly, um, it was a friend like to listen to. Like, I was sad when I was like conserving battery that I couldn't listen to like Serious Joy.
Wow.
And I was a little bit bummed out, but it's become part of my vibration and frequency of who I am. And I know if I can
Mhm.
do it, anybody out there can do it. So
So can. So can.
yeah, so this has been, we've kind of done this in reverse, but sometimes when you have people that have become friends and you're just having like a fireside chat, so to speak, things just go the way they're supposed to. So this has been episode 65.
Wow. Love it.
And
Love it.
so we have done kind of love, light, and evolution and astrology as a path to the most empowered relationship within yourself. And that's more that you can kind of like head over to Serious Joy and explore. So until next time, sweet friends, Christopher, thank you for just hanging out with us and visiting.
Love it.
We needed it. We needed
We
this.
do. And you got to, and you visiting us, we need that too. Honestly. So let's just keep doing the what's a foreign exchange student thing.
Yes, the
Keep changing each other's houses, like, because it's really necessary. And you keep me on ground. You keep me, I think we're certain points of light that have to stay in touch now. I mean, I just end with that. Like, community is everything now.
It
It's
is
everything now. It's
so
everything now.
important. And I think
Mhm.
that those of us that have been maybe kind of, our light was a little too bright. And so folks tried to dim it. I think that we realize the intentionality now of the
Mhm.
connectivity and going back to what we as individuals can do outside of any large corporate structure
Mhm.
is probably one of the most wise business choices as well as just communal
Mhm.
choices
Yeah.
that like we have to make. And so
Yeah.
like I want to leave like a drop because so one of the things once somebody gave me this great battery and I was able to listen to Serious Joy again and I started
Oh,
kind of sitting in meditation with certain things. I was like, wow, I've got to ask Sensei Christopher, do the degrees apply to temperature?
yes. It applies to everything. It's the human race. I mean, it is anytime you use a number
Thought
with a
so.
meaning, it brings that consciousness that number is included. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. Oh, I like that. I love
Yes.
that story. Like, for instance, the ages are really great. Like, people don't realize it, and that could be another whole book, but it's like,
Yes.
age 45, that is innovating your thoughts. That leads to action and change in your life. So And you watch when you turn 45, you'll watch it by 46, your life has changed. And it's like, I'll be damned. Is that we're pre-programmed with this, just a sequence. It's a simple sequence. It's a programming sequence. It's in our DNA that 1 comes after 2 and 2 comes after 3. But we don't realize it's a conscious development that happens at that point.
Wow.
In fact, the astrology to me is not, it's kind of like, I'm kind of like not leaving it behind, but it's like, that's just the engine that keeps stirring the pot. It's
Correct.
actually the numbers and the conscious, the step awareness. That's what it's all about. It's God's conscious design. And it's a sequence of things. And it turns out God had a sequence. There's a sequence in which things will always happen. It's always in the sequence. Right.
It's really interesting. I started looking, Christopher, because one of the things from being part of like the Diamond program that I really enjoyed, it's getting like the 5D chart. And I started to look because I was able to sit with paper that I have, right? And I had some things printed. And so it just shows why you have to have hard copy of things also. I was so thankful that I did. And I started to look at the difference between my 3D chart, my 5D chart. Like, if my sun is this as an 11-degree Cancerian, and then I'm a 27-degree Gemini sun, what is the difference?
Which is who you really are. I call you Gemini all the time. That's who you really are.
I know.
Yeah, what's the difference? Yeah. It's amazing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It became like, is the difference part of the pathway? And it was like, absolutely it is.
Well, what happens in the Draconian chart, which is what we base it on the 5D on, which is Dylan gets the credit for that.
Yes.
By the way.
Design Maven.
He really did bring to our attention. He's like, this is a 5D chart, Sensei. But you look at it, it's like, what does it do? It zeroes out the ego. It's zero. So you move whatever the north node is, whatever your north node is, you say, nope, it's now zero ego. Whoa. So what it is like, and people say, it's your soul's chart. I'm not sure we've figured out exactly what it is. And 5D chart, yes, that's very appropriate because I think that is the gateway to 5D, lose the ego. It's like, like a coat stand when you go into a cold place in Chicago to drink, lose a coat. You're not bringing that heavy coat and you lose the ego. And when you lose the ego, this is who Michele is. And this is who Chris is. Right. And it's like, and when I read mine, I was like, yes, that is who I am. It is. It really is. I'm a Leo. Of course. I'm a Leo. My Taurus the Taurus is just so they don't have to hire people. You know what I mean? Like, so I'll do all the work for me. I was like, I don't want to hire people. I'll just be the carpenter and the inventor. It's amazing. And I'm not quite sure. We're not quite, funny is it's ahead of its time because we're not quite ready to use it yet. It is a good spotlight for where we're going, but as far as the curriculum of like deprogramming 3D, working through your 3D knots, letting that all stuff go, you should be like this. Like that doesn't really help.
No, it shouldn't. I think that's part of where activating our light from within us, right? The liberation, the integration, the grounding, the harmonization, the transmission, literally those steps, that pathway.
Yeah.
And how the step system tells you the winning of those steps.
And it always works. And oh my God,
it
still blows me away. So yes, anywhere you have numbers. So an address, I look at it as a sentence. Your address on your house is a sentence.
Yes.
And this last class I just did, I started to talk about the sums because sums are when you have more than two numbers. You're now into a sum. You're not into a net. You're into a sum. And a sum is a little bit different because it's basically a sentence that's being said in consciousness. So if you think about like a number, like a social security number, look at your social security number. By the way, your social security number, mine, I have those numbers all over my chart. And I don't want to give up a social security number, but those numbers are the same. They're coming up everywhere. They come up,
Correct.
I get credit cards with the same. I'll get a credit card that has my social security, like 3 of my numbers of social right there in the same order. It's like,
yes.
It's like this is an intention of the soul, a vibration. Every number has a vibration that leads to a conscious awareness. Is what it comes down to. It's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
This has just been, thank you for all of this. It's always enlightening and thank you again for all that you do for the world. And so, dear listeners, until next time, stay empowered, be blessed, and thank you all so much. Peace be with you. Empowerment isn't something that you force. It's what emerges when you live in alignment with your authentic frequency. Your light is the expression of your soul, embodied through your presence and your choices. And when your light leads, your empowerment grows. Until next time, stay embodied, stay aligned, and keep letting your light lead.
That's why